I'm Josh from Seeking English. I teach test preparation for SAT, IELTS, TOEFL, GRE, and GMAT. I teach math and I teach verbal. I'm not a linguist. I'm not a mathematician. I'm very good at getting people points on tests. So what I'm discussing here is differences between the GRE and the GMAT. If you look at the content of the test, it looks similar. But the way I've explained it to my students, and I've got good results with this, is that the tests don't really ultimately test you for the same thing. People who do well on the GRE often do badly on the GMAT because they don't understand what they're really being tested for. Yes, you have to do the verbal tasks well enough. Yes, you have to do the mathematical tasks well enough. But the GRE basically gives you enough time to do those tasks. And the the GMAT basically does not give you enough time to do those tasks, and it's kind of deliberate. It's a business test. It's testing you for the ability to make a difficult decision with probably not enough time and move on without thinking about it, because you cannot go back, not on the GMAT. So how does this affect things? On the GRE, there are some tasks that are similar to the data sufficiency tasks that terrorize everyone except my students on the GMAT. Those things on the GRE, like I said, there's time for them, so you don't feel rushed to make a decision. You can kind of take them apart and look at them logically. If you're rushed, or if you feel rushed, you need to do this in less than 90 seconds, and that's about what it is. It's not really 2 minutes. It's really 90 seconds have passed on the GMAT. You probably need to click and move on. The way that works is there are two kinds of anchoring. There's the kind of anchoring that's a cognitive bias. It's a psychological phenomenon that's been studied where people stick to what they know, basically. Whatever you did last time is what you're going to do this time, probably. If you're rushed, you're very likely. That's the model. The model is something seems intuitively obvious, even if it's only due to your previous experience. You'll probably select that. At the end of the process, you'll probably select that and move on. That may work for a lot of GRE students. I can't prove it. I don't have proof. But the thing that I've seen with the mentality or the personality of people taking the GMAT is that they also may experience something which I don't know if it's been studied at all. I guess I would call it reverse anchoring, where they take whatever they imagine is intuitively obvious to everyone else and say, I'm not going to do that because that has to be wrong. This in spite of the fact that, or they haven't thought about it, from an evolutionary standpoint, you would expect our intuition to be right about 51% of the time, maybe even on standardized tests. I don't know. But the question is, should I go with my intuition or not? That's kind of the wrong way to look at it. You don't need to apply your intuition if you have an anchoring strategy. If you anchor to something that has even a very small real statistical advantage, then you don't have to apply your intuition. You can just say, well, my default answer is that. I'll go with my default answer. I know people ask me to make some of these videos shorter. This one, I don't think I can do that. This requires me to explain things in this level of detail. So these are the answers you have for data sufficiency on the GMAT. And the advantage of preparing a lot for the GMAT is you can train yourself to think automatically in terms of these 5 answers. The questions will be different. The answers will all be the same. If you are still reading the answers to the data sufficiency problems when you go to take the GMAT, you are not prepared. If you get the score that you want, it's a miracle, okay? There are not that many questions, but they will really hang you up. They will really suck your time. They will really burn up your mental calories, even if you don't notice it. Make sure that you memorize how these 5 answers work, okay? If you do nothing else in preparation for the GMAT, go in there knowing in your sleep, okay, as if you had it tattooed on your eyelids what these 5 answers are for the data sufficiency problems. Okay, that's it. Our intuition, I don't know about ours. Like I said, GMAT people, I don't think they're psychologically normal. That's not an insult. You're just different. If you're taking the GMAT, you don't think like most people in some way. So the model, classical model, is that if you've taken a bunch of math classes where every problem has an answer, you won't pick letter E. That will say that letter E is bad. Okay. I want you to try to reverse that. Try to reverse that for two reasons. One is the kind of stupid reason that if you're already anchored this way, try to anchor yourself the other way, and you'll come out and balance it. Okay. The better reason is this: scientifically, E, there's no solution. So scientifically, that's your better default point. If you study science methods, that's what you do. Assume that the problem cannot be solved, and then you go through the process of trying to disprove that to yourself. After 90 seconds, seriously, 90 seconds, if you have not disproved that to yourself, you should probably pick E and move on. At the beginning of the process, you think, oh, it's very unlikely it wouldn't be solved. That's your kind of, high school algebra voice talking. I don't know. At the beginning of the process, when you first see the problem, your confidence in each of these 5 answers should be 20% confidence. 20%, they're all equal, okay? Each second that passes that you make no progress to picking any of these here, your confidence in letter E should be increasing, okay? Means it only goes up, okay? 2 things happen. Either you, oh, that's the answer, or, I don't know, if you're stumped, good, okay? The most reliable indicator that a problem cannot be solved is that you have not solved it. Don't be afraid to click E and move on, okay? E is your friend. That's the process. Assume going in that E is the answer. Try to disprove that to yourself. If you can't do that in 90 seconds, click E and move on.